Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, October the 3rd, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. We're taking a look at the ES. We don't really have much news today. We have the JOLTS at 10 o'clock, and then, of course, we've got employment numbers at the end of this week. We've got a couple of big bond auctions, but no news, no real news. The markets are fading because people are nervous and the dollar is a moonshot right now. So it's really running hot, and we're going to have trouble with the market holding its bounces if the dollar continues to do that. It just simply cannot keep doing that with the market going up. It's just going to put too much pressure on everything that's priced in dollars, right? And that is actually including oil. But there's going to be a little bit of equilibrium that oil is going to have to find, because we definitely still need it. So no matter how much it costs, you're still going to have to pay for it. It's just how expensive is it going to get for you to continue to pay for it. All right, so there we have it. What are we looking at? The big number is the low of last week, right? I talked about this yesterday. I did not post the video I did last night because I felt like I was drooling on myself mostly, but it is sitting there, and I've got a wide angle look at a number of different things when it comes to price, but really the big thing is we are underneath the close of the prior month. We tried to bounce, and we have not been able to. Okay, so intraday, we are looking at the open of this morning's pre-market, 43.49. Of course, that happened last night. That's going to be our key resistance area. 43.24 is the much more important area in my mind. And I do suspect that we are walking down to 42.77, 42.37, and then potentially 4,200. That is what I think we're doing. Now, are we going to do it in one fell swoop? No, I don't think so. The JP Morgan pin for this month is somewhere around 4,200. For the first time in a while, I saw them backstop it with a 3,400 put being a long, so I think that's a little bit odd. Listen, it is sell the bounce. So the question is, where's the first place that the bounce is going to come that I'm able to set up for that trade? And because this is also wiki, I would say, that first area at around 43.26, that looks pretty good. If it gets to 43.20 and it can't do anything, well, you've got a problem there, but this is simply leaking. So I definitely, if you're going to try and buy the bounces here, I would say be quick or you're going to be dead, right? Let's take a look at the numbers for SPY. Okay, we've got this area all the way down here, right? But notice what's happening with SPY. From a weekly perspective, we are still trying to hang on to that close until the overnight here, when it's continued to fade, right? So this number 427, that's going to be that line in the sand. Above it, buyers are going to try and get themselves in a better area. It could turn into a squeeze, but listen, the utilities have sold off 2 days in a row. If utilities are selling off, that's a risk-on behavior, but we are not in a risk-on environment. And so I think we have a lot of chop sitting in here. I have no idea why folks have positioned like that. And then commodity technical advisors have all positioned short in gold. They're normally wrong, believe it or not. And so they're thinking that gold is going to bounce, but I'll show you that chart. That chart looks terrible. I think it's hinging on the dollar. If the dollar keeps running up, we're going to have troubles. Okay? Now, Don't worry about that part. I'll keep an eye on the dollar. I'll put it in the platforms, and then we'll go from there. Today, you're going to try to see if the buyers can come in here. And remember what has to happen. How do you know you're getting yourself a buy zone? So let's say this is an ugly buy point. First, it's got to stop heading lower. Well, it did that on September the 22nd. Second, it's got to bounce and breach resistance. Well, I think that this area, 431, was resistance. It bounced and faded immediately, but it did bounce into the resistance. Next thing it's got to do is pull back and hold the low. So that's what we have to watch for. Not, I think it's going to hold the low, so I'm going to go jump in. If you do that, you're going to have to be very quick because the chart will move around. Now, listen, if it comes in here and it starts lifting, once it gets up above that 423 area from a recovery perspective, you can say, you know what, I'm going to buy the dip. My 422.25 will be my stop, and I'll see if I can run it up the flagpole into 430 if it sits sideways. Let's take a look at Qs. So, what are the Qs doing? We're back down. We've lost a little bit. This one is really holding up fairly well. But again, I believe that traders are coming in looking at, hey, it's Q4 seasonality. We're going to be up because seasonality for September and the end of August worked so well. They're going to go, hey, I'm trying this again, because traders, we're simpletons. We're going to try the easiest thing that we saw work the nearest time ago that we saw it. And so that's what this positioning is about. I'm just not sure that it's the right thing. So how do we know if the Qs are going to hold? Well, clearly this area holds all the wicks and the congestions that as soon as we test this zone at 357.60, we've got to hold it. If we don't hold it, stand to the side, watch for the failed bounce at 360. It's going to be a short. Right now, the bounces into 361.80, 362, those are short actions. If we close a candlestick above 362, that will be a C change. We'll be moving up into the 365 area. Let's take a look at gold. All right, gold continues to drop. You guys know here's a great big support zone in gold, but my suspicion, as I mentioned last night, I think we're headed down here to the 1700s. Until the Bank of Japan comes in and does something, I think the dollar is going to continue to rise. I think they're just going to try and squeeze all these guys sitting in the carry trade. So we'll see what happens from that perspective, okay? But gold continues to absolutely smash. Is it near support? Yes. Could people start buying at the 1800? Yes. I see a lot of people going, hey, I'm really comfortable buying gold at 1800. I'm not. I would like to see gold bounce. And if it comes into 1800 and starts moving up, you can take the quick strike into 1835. If it does breach, get out. That's really the easiest thing. Let's take a look at oil. Notice, look at this daily formation. It was running hot. Listen, supply problems have not changed in oil. We need a lot and we only have a little bit because of whatever. You guys know. Now, as it sits here, you think to yourself, well, if we still need it and it's still running, why is it doing this? One, it's at multi-month resistance, but two, it's priced in dollars. And these things have a tendency to run inversely once the dollar clips up over a particular number. I don't know what it is. Some years it's 110 for the dollar relative to the euro. Some years it's 100 I don't know in terms of the dollar, but what I do see is the dollar is screaming north, and that just put the brakes on oil in a significant way. Could it hold here? Yes. 87. You guys know that I like looking at oil in order to buy somewhere around this 85 level. I've been talking about it, but literally it could drift to 82 if the dollar takes off. All right, that's it for me. I'll see you on the platforms. We've got a few 3 days to expiry trades that I am thinking might be fairly nice for us to look at. All right, take care, and I'll see you in the streams.